Episode
Hey,
4.
welcome. 3-Man Power Trip, episode 4.
4.
We're just going to kind of talk about some news and just
4
the
horsemen.
draft itself. It was a fun experience. It was all virtual, so it was definitely different.
There were some moments.
There was some moments.
It was fun.
Yeah,
What's your
Goodell
guys'
getting
take
more
on it?
drunk by the end of the night.
I think Goodell was sipping back on Grandpa's old cough medicine.
Yeah, you might have been.
Mike Vrabel's house.
Man,
Somebody was pooping in the background.
you got a guy dressed up in a Halloween costume.
Bill Belichick wasn't at his desk half the time.
You got a dog.
Yeah, the Belichick, his dog was sitting in his chair. That was pretty funny. And one of the draft picks was in a robe or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the one accidentally declined the Green Bay call?
Oh, yeah. It
So
wasn't
definitely
bad. I
a-
mean,
Now here's the thing: would you rather see it like that? Would you rather see him, or would you rather see 1 year they do it virtually, 1 year they do it like live, virtual? You know,
to be honest,
Right.
I think this was more enjoyable because I think it was hilarious, like seeing them at their houses and instead of just seeing guys sitting in the green room waiting to get their name called and go up there and shake Roger Goodell's hand. It's just the same thing
Right.
over and over again.
I think it was better. I mean, then you start
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, yeah, nice couch."
I mean, I agree with you guys. I think it was
Great.
it was pretty fun to watch. Just like you guys said, just because you're seeing all the different environments,
But I don't
just a formal. Let's walk up, shake your hand.
I don't think they'll
drafted.
keep it that way though because they want all their guys in a room together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's
They
probably
want
not
to see
going to be like that ever again. But
and a lot of the guys, they get drafted. They're up there giving Goodell a hug, and there's a lot of raw emotion when they're there in person.
yeah, and I get that. But I think this was enjoyable. I think it went pretty smooth and.
I think it did too.
Even though the audio was behind a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure our audio on Zoom is behind a little too sometimes.
It's possible.
I liked towards the end though. Goodell's reading cards upside down and shit.
Yeah, that was Goodell. He was drinking or something, tired. But anyways,
He was bored.
that's enough for just the draft overview. It was fun.
Yeah.
On to the next topic, which is going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Uh-oh. Trouble in paradise.
I love
Trouble
this
in Paradise.
dysfunction.
Green Bay selected a quarterback.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
The
No
weird
one
thing,
saw that coming. It's definitely putting Rodgers on the hot seat, though. What are you guys
the
thinking
weird,
that he's thinking?
the weird thing is though, is they took a backup quarterback and then they took a backup running back at the second pick.
Hmm.
The other draft was fucked up, and I enjoyed it.
Then there's
but-
there's the stat where Rodgers has only thrown one touchdown pass to a first round draft pick.
What's
That is
weird?
an
What's
amazing
weird about the whole situation is Rodgers was on. I think it was the Pat McAfee show
Hmm.
that morning, and they were asking him about who they think they're going to take, and he's like, "Well, I haven't had a first round weapon, you know." So he's like, "That'd
Right.
be nice." Then he's sitting at home watching that.
Yep.
I don't think he's
definitely
too
gonna
happy.
be an interesting offseason story, and going into this season, it's going to be interesting to see. Is this turning into a Brett Favre scenario?
And
Yeah.
there's a lot of rumors that some people inside the Packers organization don't really care for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, what was that?
Right.
You said that a while ago. I think this was a couple months ago about Rodgers was pissed about the play calling and he just throw
Yeah.
the ball away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know there's people out there that are Packers fans and stuff, but he's a fucking crybaby. I'm sorry, but I mean, I work next to a guy who is a huge Packers fan, and he doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. He thinks he's an asshole. I mean, he is. I mean, anybody that says he's not,
So
watch tape.
So
Because
pretty much, do you guys think this is a power move on the Packers organization, saying, "Look, we'll move on without you"?
it appears that way.
I think so. I mean, I think Rodgers gets this season, but I think there's going to be some serious issues going forward.
And I'm not saying that Rodgers is a great player. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I think his attitude's very. I
Right.
think he rubs people the wrong way, and
State Farm, don't check.
but I mean, the other teammates have came out in the past and said things about him. I mean, Greg Jennings was a big one that said stuff about him. I just he's not everyone's cup of tea. I mean,
No,
I agree.
my intake on it, I think they should go with the rookie. Look at all these new. He's got everything that your Patrick Mahomes has. Lamar, he's got the athleticism.
Hmm.
You have a running back with Adam Jones. I'd say if Rodgers, if something happens, push comes to shove, I'd go with the rookie.
and then they drafted another running back.
Could this also be a safety net? Because just a year before, Rodgers had a real bad, was it collarbone injury? So I don't want to bring Cowboys up too much, but Romo, take one bad sack, and then there goes the collarbone again.
Could this be the Romo
By
situation?
taking a talented quarterback, it's kind of a safety net. If Rodgers goes down, you have the next young guy waiting.
And that's the thing. My thing is, if that happens, is another Romo Dak.
Right. That's kind of what I'm saying is he goes down, the young guy's waiting. There you go.
And the way that I think and if it does go that way, he'll probably start winning games because nobody's got tape on him.
Right.
It's a lot different game plan for him than Rodgers. Like we said before, you're starting to see the old stand back in the pocket quarterbacks are Rodgers, Rivers, Brady, Breeze. They're all starting to slowly get replaced with the new athleticism.
Exactly.
My whole thing, though, if you're the Packers organization, you went to the NFC Championship game last year. You lost some receivers. You have one pretty much, and Devontae Adams. That's it.
You lost Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, you lost Jimmy Graham. You were a win away from the Super Bowl, and you don't draft somebody to help your team right now.
I agree.
That doesn't make any sense.
Move.
I mean,
what do you do?
There's no other explanation other than
that's why it's a hot topic, man.
Yeah, well, I know.
It's such a shady move.
And really, if you think about it, they really haven't gave Rodgers a whole lot to work with. He finally got a running back with Adam Jones.
Yeah, he hasn't had a running back in a long time. So,
anyways, moving on from that topic, we're on to Gronkowski.
Gronkowski, baby,
went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers via trade.
Super team.
And reuniting back with Brady. I mean, what are you guys thinking about that?
I love it.
It's a good move for sure.
The best thing about it is Gronk's not the top option. You got Evans, Goodwin, O.J. Howard. So I don't think he'll get as banged up as what he did in New England.
Right, because you got Mike Evans and you got the offensive threats on the team already, and then Gronk is just in addition to that. And Gronk had a year off. It's tough to say if he's going to come back rusty or come back rested.
No.
So there's,
chicken.
I think he is going to have some rust, but I think the rust will kind of get knocked off after 3.
Well, and they got O.J. Howard, so it's not.
My thing about it, I think you won't notice the rust as much just because of the other weapons.
Right.
It's going to be really hard to game plan for all those receivers. I mean, I just don't.
You can't put two on Evans, and that'll open up the middle. If they really get a running back, that's a 3-down back, that could be.
I don't know if they drafted one or not.
I think it might have.
They probably did somewhere in the draft, but
I know they traded up and got a tackle.
They're definitely going to be a deadly offense, though.
Now, do you see them being in the Super Bowl?
I hope not.
I'm still not sold on Brady as far as he's not as good as he was. He's still not. But with all those weapons, I don't think he's got to be great. I mean,
right.
That's what I think. This is the perfect situation. He's kind of on the decline. And then what are you doing now? He's not the main focus now.
No.
He has a better offense around him with more of a subpar quarterback play.
Yeah.
He's got the intangibles and everything, but the arm's not what it used to be. The speed's not. I mean, really, that's the best thing. I mean, you get
they're definitely going to be a playoff team. I mean,
I think they're definitely going to be competitive as well.
Are we going to see a Brady versus
Super
Belichick?
Bowl, though, you got a lot of pretty good teams in the NFC.
NFC is pretty stacked. That's how it was last year too.
I mean, one win would be from what, first or second to sixth, something like that.
It's going to be interesting to see how Brady does without Belichick and how Belichick does without Brady.
Well, it's not looking like.
See who needed who more.
Well, it's not looking like the Patriots are going to be a playoff team next year. Their draft wasn't very good.
They
didn't even take a quarterback.
It's going to be interesting, though. Belichick's a hell of a coach. I give Belichick a lot of credit.
Brian Hoyer, baby.
Going back. What's it, Stidham? Now, if something happens, push comes to shove, do you see Rodgers going to New England?
I don't think New England has the cap space right now.
Cam Newton's still out there, too.
And Cam Newton still – there's a lot of different options. But I see what you're saying. I could see that happening maybe next year.
He goes to Dallas.
If Green Bay just gets rid of him, or maybe via trade next year whenever New England has a little more cap space. They don't have much cap space.
Yeah.
Here you go, Lucas. I want to throw something at you.
Okay.
So what would you say if Dallas traded for him?
For Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, Mike McCarthy.
Reunited.
Yeah. Ooh. I feel that we would be probably more deadly than we are with Dak, for sure. Because Rodgers, I know you don't like him, Brandon, but Rodgers has a hell of an arm. His arm talent.
I've not said anything bad about the way he plays.
And
his attitude.
Just kind of one of those what ifs.
As far as his arm talent, man, he can put the ball right where it needs to be. And with the weapons Dallas has, I could definitely see Rodgers succeeding and at least getting us into the playoffs. Maybe make a deep playoff run. I don't know if we win Super Bowl.
No, he's one of the great quarterbacks. I agree, he is, but I just.
I don't see it happening because I think we're all in on Dak.
Well, there's too many problems with him and McCarthy anyway.
Right.
That was a lot of the strain on their relationship anyway, about the playbook and.
Don't get me wrong. I don't like Rodgers because he's a fucking thorn in our side. Every single year we make it to the playoffs. If we play the Packers, we're done. He always finds a way to beat us in the playoffs.
If
I'm to Dallas, then I'd be all about it, But
what's his contract? $20-something million a year?
I think so.
There you go.
Hey, I didn't like Favre for years, and then he came to Minnesota. So.
Yeah, came to Minnesota. Anyways, is there any other hot topics or
crab legs?
Oh yeah. Winston went to the Saints on a one-year deal. That's kind of interesting.
I thought it was odd, but
he gets to learn behind Breeze,
and he's staying in the same division, which is I don't know. Maybe that's why he chose it.
Yeah,
he's pissed off at Tampa.
He's got to make a paycheck. I don't know what the details were. I know it was a one-year deal, but I didn't see what it was worth.
Now, the funny stat, I think, is he's thrown more passes to Saints players than Taysom Hill.
Yeah, that is funny.
Is it something you guys see him taking over after Breeze leaves?
I don't know. He signed a one-year deal.
They're paying a lot of money to that Taysom Hill.
I think it could be something where the Saints are signing him, and if somebody gets hurt on another team, they can trade him.
Okay.
And get some picks out of him.
I can see that. Here's another scenario. Maybe Sean Payton, because, being on the roster, he's going to have a lot better look at what his talents and skills are. Maybe Sean Payton is, got him on a one-year deal. He's going to start looking at Winston a little more closely. Footwork, arm strength, arm accuracy, and all that, and maybe making a play to make Winston potentially the future.
See,
Sean Payton is an offensive mastermind.
Yeah, it could always turn into another Teddy situation where, say, if Breeze were to get hurt for a game or two, you put Winston in there.
And then Winston goes 4-0, 5-0, yeah.
You got Michael Thomas, Kamara.
Winston's not bad. It's the interception thing.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. With having Sean Payton there, Sean Payton is going to be looking a lot more closely at the, Winston's talent. And could Winston be the future? He's still young.
Yeah.
That's one of the.
I don't know what they're thinking. I'm just saying that I think that's a possibility.
I'm just shocked he signed there, to be honest with you. I thought he would go somewhere where he would at least be able to maybe
Have a
compete
shot.
with somebody, maybe like Jacksonville or
Chargers, but they took Herbert.
I agree.
It's always, you never know what could happen.
But I mean, Newton's still out there too, so I don't know what Cam Newton's going to do because there's no starting jobs available right now. I don't think.
Yeah,
maybe
every
New
team,
England, but that's it. I mean,
every team seems to have their guy locked up.
Yeah, really. Even one Newton-wise, I could see. I would say Dallas, just for the simple fact you don't know what's going to happen with Dak.
Yeah.
If he plays it dumb, Newton's got starting experience. You got the weapons, the line, a running.
We talked about that a little bit, and I don't know, it was a few weeks ago or something. And I think that is a great alternative. If Dak is going to keep pushing for $40 million, highest paid, and all that bullshit, then I say you go after a different veteran. Fucking let Dak walk. Dak should be excited as hell to play with this, the talent that we're surrounding him with. And if he doesn't get a deal done, if he doesn't meet Jerry somewhere with a realistic number, then you're going to have to just let him walk, and we'll have to go after a veteran and let somebody else play with all this fucking badass talent that we
I would say even if you guys do pay him, you guys come to something, I don't think it'd be bad to have Newton as a backup.
Mm-hmm. If Newton would sign for a low enough amount.
Jameis signed a 1-year deal.
See, the problem is a lot of teams don't have a lot of cap space right now. So
right.
I don't know where he's going to go. He's going to get paid.
You pay Dak $37 million, $40 million. You ain't going to have money to pay Newton $5 to $7 million. He'd have to take $2-3 million. I don't know if he'd go that low. But anyways,
that's about it for the news.
That's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. If you watch this far.
Yeah, we don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but
you guys got ideas? You want to do a Q&A?
We might try to figure something out. But
yeah, we'll try to figure something out. If not, we'll try to keep you posted on our Facebook page.
All righty. Later, everybody.
Peace out, guys. Episode 4.
See you later.